Hey everybody, welcome
Hello.
to episode 3 of QSM TV. Make sure this is muted. So we have our guest here. I am going to, let everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to go into topic. Today we are talking about self-shooting versus booking photographers. When do you know which choice to make? So I am Tawana Blassingame, Queen Size Magazine editor-in-chief, and I will let Jose introduce himself first.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jose Pagan. I own Jose Pagan Photography, artist, photographer, fashion photographer out of New York City, but now in Tampa. So I'm down in the Sunshine State.
Rah.
Hey everybody, I'm Rah Mosely, model blogger, soon to be a clothing line designer, and that's it.
Jeanne.
Hello, everyone. I am Petite Plus model and runway coach Jeannie.
Okay. You already know, ain't nobody else. Go ahead, Yashica.
Hey everybody, I'm Yashica. I am owner and operator of Hobby and Co. Boutique, plus size boutique. Um, Originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, now in Atlanta, Georgia.
So as y'all can see, we have a diverse group here who can kind of speak from different corners of the industry. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the YouTube chat and we will be sure to answer them. So the topic, again, self-shooting versus booking a photographer. And I have to give credit where credit is due. I got the idea to do this particular topic from Rah, actually.
Wow.
You didn't even know that. You didn't even know that. On the Full Figure Fashion Week panel discussion. Remember, you guys were talking about doing your own photo shoots during the pandemic. That's where I got the idea. I was like, that can be a whole topic. So, shout out to you and Full Figure Fashion Week. I got the idea to do the show from Bob. So, one of the things that I have noticed, and ironically, when we put up the post, one of the models also said the same thing. As when the pandemic hit, everybody was trying to figure out, how long is this going to last? What are we going to do? Where our careers are going? So people didn't just want to stop what they were doing. We had to get creative. And one of the things that we saw was a lot of people doing self-shooting. So with the photographers kind of like taking a step back, trying to figure out what is happening, what their next step is going to be. Would you say that I will say yes. Would you say that you have seen a decline in the quality of images that people normally put out?
Well, what I've noticed with the self-photography and the iPhone video conference photo shoots is there is no change on Facebook. So if you're a person that's creating content for Facebook and anything on social media, all that stuff gets dumbed down to where if you look at the picture like real up close, you see the pixels and everything. But on Facebook, you don't. So I think for that delivery, it never went down. It's if you're trying to make content for professional use, meaning, if it's going to be submitted to a magazine, used in marketing materials for a designer or a store, it's not going to work. It just won't work for that. But anything social media, yeah, it's been working for that. If you're just showing off, or you just posting something for fun, or you working for a boutique and you just need to take a couple of quick shots, that's a quick fix.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that when you're doing that, like if you're just shooting for, like, if someone sends you something and they say, hey, I want you to wear this, I want you to post it, and you're just trying to shoot something real quick, it works perfect for that. But if you're doing something that needs to be a little bit more professional, you have to like look beyond that, unless you know how to professionally shoot yourself, which takes a little bit more time, and I think it takes a little bit more knowing the camera and how to work around that. So, but if it's just a quick shot, you could definitely use your phone for that, and you know, you just got to practice at it. You know, it took me a few times of getting it, like doing it to get it right. So
yeah, I mean,
I noticed is a lot of models have actually kind of sort of built a makeshift studio in home. And they might have bought a professional camera, a backdrop. They have the ring lights and all of that stuff, but the pictures are still pictures that you are doing, not a professional. And I'm not knocking it because I had to do the same thing as a model and still working as a fit model. I had to do the same thing. You got to set up the whole studio. You got to set up the whole thing. But again, a lot of them are using it for the content, you know, on Instagram. I'm putting the content out, Facebook, Instagram, wherever else you putting it, and it looks terrible. I'm going to be honest. It just looked terrible. It's terrible. But if you're doing it for, Rod, don't laugh, I'm going to be very honest all the time. If you're doing it for, like you said, if you're doing it for a quick shot and it's just for, you know, that client and you get a nice shot, you have a great phone, then it's great. But when you're setting up that professional camera and you timing it, you look great, you look cockeyed. Like I think you have to be very careful with how you do it.
I definitely agree with that.
I'm sorry, because there's one person that I have to say, I always give her a shout out because I hit her up and was like, who is your photographer? And found out that she was doing her pictures herself, Frankie Tavares.
Yes.
She does really good.
My head.
Like,
yes,
I thought that somebody was taking her pictures. She looks amazing. Like
all the time.
And I was just like, wow, this like, and she does what you said. She has the little backgrounds and she creates a whole scene in her photos.
She take her time. Frankie, this is her job. She knew from the beginning when she first started this and she started creating this content that she learned how to do it. So she mastered that. Yeah. Background, posing, setting up the camera, making sure whether it's in home, it's outside, her setup is amazing. Absolutely. But 99% of us is not a Frankie Tavares, let me just tell you. We're not that. I know I am not that. If I don't have my phone come over or I don't have my daughter here, like, look, put the light up here, hold it here, I'm going to set the camera and I'm going to take this picture. Boom, let me set the timer and take the picture. It's not going to work. We look crazy. Listen, I sent a picture in. Thank God it was only for fit and they cut my head off. I was looking cockeyed. I was like, how did this happen? You got to be very careful with it.
No, I definitely agree. For me, a lot of people ask for brand ambassador work. And when I tell them to send me their portfolio, they send me these pictures. And I think the new wave is like lifestyle, right? So everybody wants to be outside. Everybody wants to dress up and give the different looks. And I don't agree with camera phone. I mean, back in the day when I had to, I think I've done 2 shoots on the phone and got 0 sales from them because we were trying to shoot product really fast at the beginning of when I started a boutique. But now I don't even look for people I don't send the clothes out. I'd rather have models that are local or I can get to them and we do a whole professional shoot because it does get to where they send you the clothes, they send you the item back or the picture back and then you're looking like, okay, this is not what I was looking for. And they're like, well, you sent a picture and then they post it and they might have the engagement because it's them, but the picture looks horrible. You can't really get the detail of the clothes and what it looks like because they're just outside just trying to shoot. So I definitely agree with that. Another person is Wandrea Rah. Wandrea does really well with outside pictures. It's crazy because she'll come over and she'll say, well, let me just get the clothes and I'm gonna take them to the house and post. I'm like, Wandrea, no. So then she does it from other brands. I'm like, wait, are you sure you're not using a photographer? She's like, no, girl, I have the camera in the ring. So I think it just depends on also the type of model, and maybe that could be your next, live, the type of model that is in the industry, because you have some that are just getting in and they might not understand how serious it is to brand, whether they're trying to brand for a company. But then you have some like a Frankie and Wandrea and even Izinga. Izinga takes a lot of pictures by herself as well, who that's their jobs. That's kind of like their full-time thing. That's what they're trying to pursue. So they're going to take it a little bit more serious, and also they're getting paid to do the work that they're doing. So they take it a little bit more serious as well. I'm not for one for the iPhone at all.
I mean, I'm for it. If I have someone, I know Bella Bombshell, Stephanie Malik on Instagram, she's Bella Bombshell. She does a lot of her photos with her phone, and she'll get together. It'll be a group of us together, and she'll be like, okay, give me your phone. She'll find a space, she'll find a nice background, she'll get like your lighting, whatever it is, and she'll make it happen. But another thing is, with me having an Android and I'll never have an iPhone, I don't do iPod, you know, nothing with Apple, no offense, but I don't do anything with Apple. I buy the Note. Every time the Note come out, I'm about to buy the Note 20 like tomorrow. So it's like, you already know. Right. So if you take a picture of me, Rah, on your iPhone, that is blurry when I go to post it. It's like anybody who has an Android, it's like, who did this? So you have to be very careful with doing it. I'm not opposed to it. It's just that I think the Note cameras are way better. But you got to be very careful with who's doing it and how you're doing it. And especially like you said, Yashica, if this is your job, you're going to take it more serious. For me, I'm just doing it for fitting. So they'll have lighting when I put these jeans on and make sure, you know, the waist, and I can tell them what the rise or how many inches I need in the background, whatever it is. But doing the shoot myself to build content or to, you know, for a brand that I'm an ambassador for, that I can't do it myself.
Not all models are cut out to do that, you know, because that involves another set of skills that you have to adapt and things like that, you know. So I can understand a model's like, okay, I don't want to be responsible buying a camera, doing this. I mean, it depends. I mean, I know Frankie, she has space. So now everybody has space to really do setups like that, go outside, and you have your own space where you could tear down and build up. I mean, that's a dream for people, you know? So it is definitely tough.
So, Yashica, I was going to ask you.
I'm sorry, it's storming over here really bad. So I don't know what just happened. It's like storming crazy.
I'm looking like, don't start. I don't want to start.
What part of Atlanta are you in, Yashica?
I'm over in Sandy Springs. I'm in Roswell.
Okay, I'm in College Park. It hasn't made it over here.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, boy. So I wanted to ask you, because when I have conversations with people about boutiques and such, right? And, you know, they reach out to me. I don't know why they reach out to me, honey, because I'm just a magazine. I just write. And so when they reach out to me with questions about how, you know, how to build their brands as a boutique, I always reference back to you, because I remember when you first started and where you are now. And I always tell them, images are everything. I send them the link to your website. Look at this girl's images, right? Now, here's what I will say, because I've bought a lot of stuff from you, right? And I noticed at one point you started doing images of yourself, right?
Right.
I guess it was selfies or whatever. Now, and I know you answered this question before, but what is the difference in the sales from that and the ones that you when you book in professional photographer?
So you know, it's crazy. I have a social media manager now, right? And so we're trying to grow the brand more. And when I post, my stuff sells. I mean, I sell out. Thank God, I sell out when I post, whether it's professional or not. But it's like when I'm in front of the camera and I'm just like snapping something real quick, because I might have forgotten on the shoot that I had this item. And so I'm like, oh crap, I need to put this up because it needs to sell. It sells out so much faster. And I think it's because what I'm learning is a lot of my customers they're knowing who I am and they're following the brand through me. So it doesn't matter if I'm posted up in my kitchen, because for a while, when Corona first hit, I couldn't have photographers, right? So I couldn't have anybody come over. I could not go outside, especially Atlanta when it first shut down. So I had to make a way and I couldn't get the models to come over because I didn't want to get anybody sick. And it was just a mess when Corona first started. And so I'm like, okay, I was in the background of my kitchen. And for some reason, I put on, like, I don't even know how to do makeup, but I just threw something on. I had the ring light And the stuff sold out so fast. And then when I switched back over to professional, people were like, well, what happened to the kitchen? We love the kitchen. We love Anthony Hamilton in the background with the cookbook. So, I mean, what happened? I'm like, y'all, first off, I'm not a model. You know, like half of the time this stuff is, you know, it fits weird on me because of the way that I'm shaped. So I can't do this. So I'm still playing around with it because I am camera shy. And so I get Wandrea and them to try to, like, you know, soften me up a little bit. But I think that it just depends on who you are, because I built my brand. And at first I built it around Yashica. I didn't build it around Kabi 926 or Kabi and Company. I built it around a girl who had weight loss surgery, who was still wanting to be in the plus community, because I know how to shop for plus, and I still have a hard time battling from plus to straight size. And so I stayed with what I knew. So with them following that journey into what success looks like, I think I can literally stand outside of my truck and sell something. So I think it just depends on the actual person. But for me personally, my Instagram looks a lot cleaner now. Like when I saw the difference from when I was just posting to what I actually do now, I get like Amazon wanted me to be on their platform now. I get Instagram like saying, hey, if you get more engagement, we can start paying you. So I think it's on the professional side for you to actually get taken seriously. I always will go with just doing professional. Even if that's your last dime you have to spend, you know, spend it wisely and spend it on hair, makeup, production, because that's what's going to make your brand, you know? So I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, because if they don't have a brand, if they're just selling the clothes and an item, people don't know who they are. So they're just knowing what the clothes are. But if you are actually selling, yourself, then you can do any, you know, you can not have professional camera work.
See, that's a valid point, because you built your brand, right? And the same thing that Kim said in the chat room is you built your brand. But you did you kind of mixed in some images of yourself, which made you relatable.
Right.
People can relate to you because they got to know who you are and how you built your brand, because you were so vocal about it.
Right. But now I'm trying to switch it, because I'm trying to go more corporate now, you know, and I'm going to be honest and frank on here, and excuse me, y'all, but being and saying that you're Black owned business is not enough. Right. That's not going to get the deals that you want to get. That's not going to get you in the Target or the Walmart, or, you know, where you're trying to advance. And for me, I love my Black community. I'm thankful for the support thus far, but now I'm trying to take my brand to a different audience. I just don't want the African American to see it, because there's Latinos that's plus, there's Caucasians that's plus, there's, you know, different different races that are plus size, where I'm not trying to sit in this bubble. So now I do have to create a brand that is not based on Yashica, but based on what is Kabi and Co. You know, so I think for me, that's the direction that I've been trying to go into. But they haven't caught on yet to it, because they're so used to seeing me. And I'm telling them, hey guys, I'm stepping away. I'm building a team. You guys gotta let me work so that I can grow this. But, you know, it's hard when you're the face of a company for so long. You know, it's really hard.
That's true. So, so this next question is kind of a fully loaded question, right? So Jeannie, we all know that you are very vocal about preaching about investing in yourself, whether people listen or not. But when I look at commercials like, you know, the iPhones, and they make you believe, you know what, let me not say they make you believe, because then that's saying that they're not telling the truth. But you know, they give you this vision of, you know, all the things that you can do with an iPhone. You know, you can do the portrait shoots, you can do the billboards and all this stuff, right? So my question is, how do we convince, and I guess Jose, you come in here too, how do we convince people to keep booking photographers, to stay professional?
You want me to answer that first? Because
I want everybody to answer. Since you spoke,
ahead,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeanne.
Very simple and very plain. You are not a photographer. I don't care how great you are. You are not a photographer. Invest until you learn. You understand? Invest until you learn. Because I know Frankie didn't shoot herself from the very beginning all the time. She had to learn. Bella, Frankie, Wandrea, Tavi, all of these young ladies, they had to learn this skill.
Right.
So you had to have a photographer because 99% of them they shot with Kia Caldwell or they shot with Jose, and Jose know that. So you have to invest in your craft to perfect the craft. So here's the thing. You can't do it yourself. You cannot until you are well versed at all things. That's your makeup, your hair, your styling, your setup, your backgrounds. Until you are well versed in that, you cannot do it. Don't do it. Invest in yourself. Let somebody else do it. It's okay. Just spend a little money and do it. I say no to that whole thing when it comes down to you saying, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to do it myself. This $300 or this $400, that's not gonna work. You're gonna look terrible and then you're gonna waste your money. That's what I think. I think you're just gonna waste your money and waste your time. Like, don't do it. Waste some. I'm not gonna say waste somebody else's time. Take up Jose time and let him do the shooting and let him figure out the lighting and let him figure out what you should be putting on with the colors and stuff. Don't do it yourself until you learn these things. Frankie and them has been on Instagram for a few years now. So now they mastered it and it's become their job. Until that becomes your job, darling, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think too is that I'm sorry, Jose. I think that people get confused with an influencer and a model.
Right.
Influencers can do a lot of. They could do a whole timeline of iPhone photos and stuff because it's more of a lifestyle thing. But if you're actually trying to book jobs with companies and model for these companies, you need professional shots. You can't book a job with a camera phone shot because it's something that a photographer can bring out of you that your phone is not going to get you.
That's right.
The lighting, especially if you're trying to sell the clothes. If you're trying to sell the clothes, you need a professional photographer to shoot the clothes because they know the lighting. They know how to make the clothes look good. And that's what you're modeling. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to book a job as a model, not as a lifestyle influencer, because everybody's a lifestyle influencer nowadays.
Right.
Is shooting pictures in front of wherever, and they do it with their phones, and it's quick. They can shoot it and they post it right to Instagram.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you said, lifestyle, bloggers and people of that nature, they're good at what they do because they're like a jack of all trades, and it's cool being a jack of all trades because I could be one too, but I learned what to narrow down my skill sets to be amazing at just that. So as a photographer, I've honed all my energies to that. I mean, I came down here and I got a workshop, so I'm back to designing props and making fun things. That's different, but that's my side hustle while I'm a photographer, but I'm never gonna say, oh, well, I'm a model now and let me do this, and let me do that. No, I've learned from models, as I teach them and throughout my years of working. So I know how to pose. That's how I'm able to teach people. But I definitely think with the pandemic that's going on right now, you can hire a photographer. There's ways to do the shoot safely, especially if it's outdoors, if it's an editorial, things like that. I mean, for, white background shots and things like that, e-commerce might be a little tough depending on how many people you have on set. But if you could work around that, then try to hire. I think it's better to make money from later. That's my opinion.
I think y'all are too nice.
Everybody.
I think that it is absolute garbage for them not to want to invest because they come to someone like me and they want to charge me for me to send them clothes, or they want to charge me. And like Ross said, a lot of them think that they are influencers.
Your lane.
And they think that they're influencers, but they don't understand it. They don't understand modeling and influencing is two separate things. It's two completely separate things. Like, as an influencer, yeah, you get paid, but as a model, this is actually your job. And a lot of times they come to me if they want me to, I'm just gonna put it out there, $200 to $300 a shoot, right? And that's not including their makeup. Then they want all the pictures and they want all this stuff, and it's like, wait. But you on Instagram with Fashion Nova, where they're not paying you.
I'm gonna say it.
They're giving you crappy clothes, and you're putting in more effort into going outside and doing this look. But if I send you the clothes, I don't get the same effort. I barely get makeup out of you if I send you the clothes to put it up. So no, you can't work for my brand. No, I don't want to give you $200. No, I don't want to, support what you have going on, because you treat someone that actually is in business and actually back to a Black owned, that you'll treat them less than what you do. They're also hype on Fashion Nova, and I'm like, for what? Why are you guys so overly hyped on Fashion Nova? They barely post you guys when y'all take the pictures. Like, why are you guys so overly excited? And I'm sorry, I'm getting real, because this is the back end on business of what I have to deal with when models and influencers come and approach me and they see my brand and they want to be a part of it. Well, why do you want to be a part of it? Because it's growing and it's going fast and the people that I'm connected to, or do you really actually believe in the brand? And that's why I choose the models that I choose, because they actually believe in the brand. And even though they work for other people, I have them in such like strict contracts where it's like, this is what time you need to be here. This is what you need done. And makeup is important. The iPhone can edit like a photographer can edit.
Mm-hmm.
There has been influencers and models that came to me that I've seen professional work from them. And then I see them in person. I'm like, yo, who was the photographer? Because, oh my God, I thought you was smooth on those legs, and I don't want to say nothing, but they're not as smooth. Like,
I don't know why you thought that, darling.
Listen, editing is a beast, and I think that's what they don't understand on the iPhone is that you can't get those certain edits that you can get from a photographer. Like you need to be smooth in the midsection.
But
any phone edit is unacceptable to me.
No, it is.
Any face tune, body tune, I don't care, all that crap, get that out of here. That's nonsense. Like I put them on my computer and I look at it and it looks like a cartoon. On social media, it might look fine on social media for a little bit, but if you put it on a computer, you try to print it, you look like a cartoon. Period.
It does. And if people don't want to invest in themselves to even get a good shot, what makes them, for me, I look at it as, okay, if you don't have any professional pictures other than when you first started and you give me that comp card, you don't have any more professional work, what makes you think I want to invest in you? Because I'm still taking the investment at the end of the day. Before I sell the clothes, I still have to pay you for your time. I still have to pay for makeup. I always feed my models, so I have a lot of stuff that my photo shoots are about $1,000 to $1,200 every shoot. That's every shoot. That doesn't even include, outside food and things like that. So it's like, if I'm going to invest in you, why aren't you investing in yourself? Why are you? I just feel like a lot of times they're just okay with Fashion Nova, and it's so many other big brands out there that if they do take the time to invest in themselves, they can go a lot farther.
But everybody's
social media
quantity. They're thinking of quantity and not quality. If I know that Fashion Nova is a brand that's turning over quickly, you have something every week. They have a new fashion, and if you go to their site, it's 1,100 pages that you can look at clothing on, whether it's men, women, and plus or straight or whatever it is. They go with that, and that's a happening brand. They're not going for the brand that's stable and that's going to be here forever. Not to say Fashion Nova won't be here forever, but they're not going for that brand, that Lane Bryant or a fashion to figure, even though they've been going through whatever, but they're not going for those solid brands. Right. They're not doing that.
Fashion Nova. The reason a lot of people shoot for Fashion Nova because it's quick. It's like the crack of fashion. You get your quick fix, your hit, and you keep it moving. That's why their marketing involves a lot of social media images, which are phone pictures. They don't care. They're not putting money. I had an issue with them 2 years ago. They were using images without my permission, and I had to contact their PR and everything, and we had to squash all that and take my images off because they didn't want to pay. They were like, oh, that's the model's responsibility. We don't care. We just tell them to shoot. I'm like, well, then you can't use my picture. I'm sorry.
Right. That's free marketing for them. I never understood the.
But want to charge us. Oh, sorry.
I never understood the fascination with that particular brand, because anyway.
I think it's just the celebrities, Tawana. I think it's just the celebrities that they enjoy. I mean, they're smart. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually researching. I'm taking a class on their marketing right now, right? So I had someone who used to work for Fashion Nova. They actually started their own marketing, thing on the side, and they're selling the class. So I'm taking the class now. And I think it's a brilliant idea because when you think on the boutique side, they're not spending money at all. They only pay the celebrities and the high-end clients,
Right.
but they don't spend money. And then the clothing they get, because they're getting so much clothing at one time, they're only spending maybe $2 to $3 per piece. So they can afford to get that off because they're going to sell it for $40 or $30, and that piece is going to sell out. But I just think that a lot of times these influencers just get hyped because they have 13.5 million. So if I had 13.5 million, there would be no problem. I'll have no problem sending them stuff and won't have to pay them. Oh, I'm going to be on her site, so I don't mind her, mind doing it. I think it's just a hype, and it's sad in a way because they don't realize that you're not supporting it, or you're keeping their money in other people's pockets and not your own people's pockets at the same time.
So I guess Jeannie and Rah, you guys can, and we're probably going a little bit off the topic here, but you guys can speak to this as models. But as a model, I would think that if you're looking for a career in modeling, right? You're looking for those dollars. You're looking to get paid. So I cannot understand why models do all this stuff for free. And do not say the exposure word, please.
No, it's not about exposure. It's not about exposure. It's a lot of times now that Instagram have you thinking that this is the way, this is the end all to be all. So if I can shoot with Yashica and she have 1.1 million followers and she's going to give me 7 outfits that I absolutely love, and only thing I got to do is take a great photo and she'll post it or what have you, I'll have my makeup done, I'll have the outfit on, I have all of this stuff done, but she has 1.1 million followers. So out of that, if nothing, there'll be 100,000 people that might just see me, that might just like the photo. So a lot of times the shit is for likes, unfortunately. And I can't do it. That's why I only made to 10,000 followers this year after being on Instagram for so long. I can't work for free. I've been doing this way too long. I'm too old. My daughter's in med school. You must have lost your mind.
Funny thing about that, Tawana, so I want to say something about that because I used to get caught up in numbers, and I don't do that no more. Because one thing that I've noticed, and the person who won Male Model of the Year, he doesn't have a lot of numbers. Miguel don't have a lot of followers, but Miguel constantly works because of what he puts out there.
Right.
And if you putting out good images and you working and you got people who brands notice that, and sometimes big numbers don't equate to sales.
Does not. You're right. It does not.
For instance, you could have 80,000 followers, but if all of your followers are women, why would I keep sending you clothes? Because the women not buying the clothes that you're wearing as a male model. They're not buying those clothes. So why would I keep sending you clothes? You're not getting me sales.
I've learned that too, Rah, as an ambassador for the waist trainer people. She had nothing but the different women on there. They had 100,000 followers, 25,000. I was like, girl, I am not even at 9 at the time. I don't even think I was at 10,000, nowhere near. And she was like, what I realized is you're relatable and people listen to you. So even though you don't have these millions of followers, they listen to you. And there's not one time that you didn't post on your page that they didn't get, one person didn't buy, if not 2. It's every other day that you post, there's somebody who bought it. You're relatable. Those numbers meant nothing because what I realized is the followers like to see what you're doing. It's like a television show. Oh, let's see what Rah's doing today. Let's see what Tawana's doing today. Oh, she looked nice. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love your look, Rah. Oh, I love your look, Tawana. They're not looking at buying anything. because it's not believable. They know that that's your job.
Right.
They know that that's what you're to do. For me, I try not to keep my page so model-esque because I'm a real person. I want to be relatable. I talk to my followers. I actually answer DMs. So like you said, Rod, that having those followers don't equal money. It does not equal money all the time.
And there's some brands that I really wanted to work with, like in the beginning, that kind of like slid by me and was like, no, because they went with somebody with higher numbers. But guess what? Every time that I wear something of yours, people are asking me, where did you get that from? They want to buy it when they see me in it, but they see that other person in it. They're not. And one thing, it is not being cocky, but one thing I know about myself is I know how to dress, and I know how to dress myself.
And you fine.
I concur.
Okay.
and I make sure that I represent myself well. So it's like if I'm representing your brand, I'm not gonna just half-ass take a shot or be like, oh, I'm gonna just throw this on and take a picture in it because they sent it to me. No, I'm trying to sell this for you because I want to continue this partnership and continue to work with you. And there's a lot of people who just get the clothes and be like, oh, I'm gonna just shoot this and I'm gonna post this real quick, but they not putting no work in behind it. They not really thinking about how should I style this, how should I make this look, how should I sell this so that people are actually wanting to buy this from the company, opposed to just saying, "Oh, that's a nice picture. Let me like it and comment on it." You gotta put a little bit more thought into it.
Just to go on what models do, like me and Christina, Christina Mendez.
Yes.
We had this arrangement when I was in New York City, and we would do mini sessions like every 2 weeks or something like that. And it's real quick, it's not an insane fee I would charge her, but it was something where she could avoid having to set up a set and worry about all that, where she could just focus on looking good and modeling hard, and we just worked. Boom, we went right there to Central Park, shot, it was done within an hour until the next time. So that's another way of people having an issue, as far as funds and big budgets, could work out a contract with a photographer. Say, hey, let me work out a contract for 5 to 6 shoots, and you charge me this amount, and you guys you make work, make it happen.
Especially when you book with like maybe the same photographer, and you could constantly and Jose, you correct me if I'm wrong. Like if I'm constantly booking with you, eventually it'll be like, I'm not gonna charge you what my normal fee is. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So you're always spending money with me.
Yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to loyalty customers, people, and over the years, me and Christina are friends. I've been to her kids' parties, and so we're close. So I don't go hit her on the head, when I know that, she's going to help me out some other way down the line. We developed that relationship, the business friendship.
Right. Yashica, what you was going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going back to Rah, and he said about the numbers. I've lost so much money on looking at influencers on the business side that had a lot of following and absolutely brought me no sales. They brought me some crazy ass men on my page saying, hey, sexy, and all this other kind of stuff on the post. They sent me women that's not in my target market, that are not going to spend or only waiting for a sale. That's my marketing thing now is sales, but they don't. I mean, I can't get one sale out of them, and then it's also people that I've shot with that have big following that can't bring me a sale, even when they post. And that's a problem for me. I look at, for example, everybody knows like my brand is associated with Simone. So she's up and coming. And I took her when she was like not even in the modeling game. I just looked at a beautiful face. I'm like, yo, I need you, like ASAP. And she's been with me for the duration of the time. So that's why she's the face of the company. But this girl, she would get online and she doesn't have a lot of followers. But she will post and I will get sales. I won't say others' names, but they have 60, 70K following and they have modeled for me and I have paid them thinking that I was going to get the return back because of their following and I get $0 from them. So I'm like, okay. And then they come to me like, hey, Sheikah, why you didn't call me on this shoot? And I'm like, you want the truth or you want me to tell you that I was busy and I was caught up? You know, the truth is, when I book you to shoot, it's not just because I need a look, because there's 1,000 plus size beautiful girls out here that don't even model. You can tell them to stand in front of a camera and you can put makeup on them and you can put the clothes in them and that's it. You don't even have to pay them. I pay you because of a brand. Like if you have a brand, I'm paying for, okay, you come on set, when I post, you need to post, and I need to be getting people to your page that might be following me, that might be interested in, because I'm selling, even though I'm selling a brand, I also sell encouragement and I also sell confidence. That's my biggest thing. So I want the models, that's why I tag my models. A lot of brands don't even tag their models. No, I want my girls to any of my copy dolls, I want them to follow the models so they can see how confident these models are, so they can actually get the confidence in themselves and say, you know what, I can look like her. Yeah. Or my body shape like her, so I'm gonna follow her because she gives that confidence every time she models for her and any other pictures that she takes. So when I'm sending you people for your page, you need to be sending me people back. That's how we swap. So I really have lost a lot now. And now what we look at, or my social media manager, we look at now more of engagement. I don't care about your following. I'll look at engagement. My social media, ask them to send your insights. Your insights I need to see how many percentages women. I need to see how many percentages men. I also need to see the age of them, because if they're in their 40s and 50s, guess what? I know my brand, and even though I have some 40-year-olds that might want to look 30 and 20, that's not my target audience, because I'm not that age. You know, that's not my target audience. So I need to see your insights to see if you're going to be compatible with my brand. And it doesn't care about the likes, the likes or the following, because you can have your auntie commenting. What I've learned with Copy Brand is it's a family thing. Once one customer buys, they're telling their aunt, their cousins, their godparents, and then they're now becoming customers in my cycle. And they are the ones like, oh, my sister told me about your site, or my aunt told me about your site, or my mom. And those are the people I want. I want to keep it in the family. All y'all shopping Cosby. Y'all not going to any other brand.
But you know what's funny is that, you know, there's people out there that, you know, because I'm on social media a lot, especially on Instagram, and they'll have 200, maybe even 500,000 followers. You know, and you'll see a lot of engagement. But when you go in there and you look at the engagement, what do you see in the comments?
A bunch of men. Yeah.
Tons. You know. So, you know, yeah, you could have 1,000, you know, but then again, the sales will be important for your business, you know, if it's people that are actually following this person, not because they have big booty or big boobies, you know, but because they know how to wear the clothes and they're inspiring people to buy it. You know,
right. That's why, I mean, a lot of times they get upset because I'm actually rolling out a brand ambassador program next month. My social media manager, we have like this long contract we want people that have low like ratio of followers and also high, but we're not going to do like Fashion Nova and them do that. They're giving away the clothes. I need to really see if you support Cobby. So your first purchase, you're going to get a discount, but I need to see how you're going to rock it. So we're going to bring out this whole program. But I've learned that if I'm going to pay somebody, I'd rather pay a Goo, right? Goo has engagement. She has the following, and she also brings the customers to you. And I never was that person that wanted to pay the celebrities before I paid my local people. But now I'm starting to see that your local people don't put in as much as these celebrities do. So you might have to take the risk and do the celebrities versus the local people that you really die hard want to work with, but they can't bring you any.
But it also depends on the celebrity too. Good, she'll definitely she'll wear something and she'll promote you. She did it for my sister and I when she was styled by Janelle. I think Janelle Marie styled her and she used some of our pieces at the time. And she didn't have any problem. I met her in person a few times and she didn't have any problem remembering who I was and actually reposting and tagging us every time she had it or every time she posted it, whether it was just a throwback or whatever. She didn't have a problem with doing it. But you got to think, some celebrities will take that shit down after a week. I'm not leaving this up here, but some people who are actually into that, as far as being a PR person or influencer, they'll leave it up for 24 hours. And some of them, I won't name them, will charge you $500 for the post or up to $5,000 if you want to leave it up for 2 weeks. Like, I really want to know who you think you are, darling. I really want to know.
That's why you have to have a contract. That's why it's important. I ask models to have a contract with me as well. And they look at me crazy. I'm like, yo, what are your terms too? Because I need to know what are your terms. I don't want to do anything vocal. I'm done with the vocal. Vocal was 1.5 years of my business and ain't go nowhere. We not doing no vocal. I got you. No. What are your terms? I need to be an email. I need to be a professional email. Not, hey, girl, hey, whatever you need. No, let's be professional about this. I have a contract for them. If they late, you're done. Like, I don't need you. Bye, have a good day. You know, I find somebody else or I post to shoot back. Or I don't pay you for that day. If you late, I'm not paying you. You need to understand that. So I think it's about having those contracts with me. And when I do book the higher end celebrities, because I am paying a lot more than what I will pay the local models, our contracts are so intact. When I have a contract with Goo, me and her have a different type of relationship now. But when it was first done, I said, listen, this is what I need. I need to see your engagement. Don't be afraid to ask them for their insights too. I need to see your engagement. When is the best time for you to post? Because what I've learned is some of them, even though they have high following, they'll post in the morning and it won't give you traction, but they'll post another boutique in the afternoon and it gets all this traction. So I need to know what your time frames of posting. So that way, my time frame, if I got to pay you $500, my $500 is going to, I want this at 6 p.m. I need it to look this way, you know, and then it's building those type of relationships. But contracts are so important.
Contracts are important, and that's
your
one
contract
to like recently over the past couple of years. When I first kicked my blog off and started, it's like, yeah, you do things for exposure, but you got to know when to cut that exposure off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, now I gotta get paid. I'm not no high schooler. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need your free clothes.
Okay. Exactly.
I need to check. And so, like, I recently worked with the brand, and we shot a few commercials for it's for grooming products. And sometimes, you know, talking about money can be uncomfortable for people, but it's like that's why you got to have your rate card available. And you just say, hey, well, you know, I have a rate card. I'm gonna email it to you. You take a look at it, and you see if you still want me to work for you. But you gotta have those conversations because people will continue to try and get over on you and be like, well, I'm gonna just send you the product and I'm gonna just do this, and you know, it's good exposure. I got exposure. I don't need.
That's why you call me.
Right. So it's like, you know.
All right, y'all. I have to bring this conversation back to photography, y'all. every week,
don't take these pictures.
Obviously, right? Look, it's like every week when we have these conversations, right? And nothing about models, but then it always be everything about models. So
that's why you need to have a whole
and we do
conversation
have a
about
question in the comment. Honey, just call it models, and that's probably gonna be about 2 hours long. Mm-hmm. But I want because I totally skipped over Kim McCarter. She had made a comment earlier when we were talking about you know, the iPhones and stuff, right? It's probably raining, so hopefully my internet don't shut off because yesterday it was like on off. But she had made a comment earlier about, you know, when she does her photo shoots. Well, let me not call them photo shoots, but she does lifestyle shoots, like when she's away or something like that, and she uses her iPhone, right? And her images look great, by the way, great. If I did that, my images won't look like that. I assure you. So, and I want to make a comment, and I know it says I was going to stop talking about models, but I wrote this down. I wanted to make a comment. Which is related to photography. I've become very anal when it comes to images, and I haven't always been that way, but obviously I am that way now, right? So there are very few models that I follow. When I say follow, I mean I follow because I want to see what they're wearing to purchase. Not everybody I do that. Some people I hit that like button. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Some people I hit that like button. Some people I comment and say you look beautiful, but I have no intention on buying the product. Why? Because to me, your whole presentation was completely off for me. Right. And so I buy into the presentations. I'm one of those people who I will look at an image and I will look at every single last detail of the image. I look at the background. I'm not lying. So if you have cats in your images, I don't like cats. I'm probably not gonna buy the picture, the clothes, and that's just me being for real. But my next question to you, Jose, because I know before you went on hiatus, you had your publication, right? A comment and question. One of the things that I've noticed now during the pandemic is that people will send me images that they shot with phones, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if they don't know any better or they think that I don't know any better, but I get those. And I know how to check it, because I have this photographer that works with me. But I guess this twofold question for you, Jose, when you were doing the publication, have you gotten those, and how do you respond to them? And for the models have you? I know, Jeannie, you have not. I mean, have you ever, did the shoot with a cell phone and tried to submit it? Don't look at me like that, Jeannie.
I know when I was running iDare, I think I got maybe 2 submissions that were cell phone images. And honestly, I come from the old school. I learned from this one designer, and he's worked with Vogue and stuff like that. So when it comes to stuff like that, I just ignore it. I don't give it no energy. I just move to the next thing.
You don't respond?
No, I don't respond, because if they're not ready for me, I don't want to work with them. Especially with that magazine, I accepted people that were ready, that were there, present, mind and soul, to submit. And those are the people that got published. Just like now, if I'm working with somebody or somebody hits me out, I want to go work on the tour with you, and they send me a cell phone picture to judge, I'll be like, that's cool, but let's get you real images. Like, you could start off with the cell phone just to practice. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You need to practice. But when it comes down to the getting paid and getting in that field, you gotta do it the right way.
Right.
No, I never submitted a cell phone image. Have I done a shoot with a cell phone image if it was just me posting in a great outfit, and I just so happened to have on an outfit that I might have bought from a brand or what have you, that might have reached out to me, and I wore it, then I'll post it. But for the most part, no. I usually post all of my I usually send or submit anything that I've done professionally. And even if I done a shoot and I gotten 400 photos, before I send it, and of course they're not going to edit, photographer's not going to edit 400 photos. I would reach out to the photographer and I would ask him, can you edit this photo? Can you just do whatever you do to it and make it look nice? And, I'll pay for it before I submit it, whether I get the job or not. I'm just not going to give you anything that's not professional.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. I know the only thing you could get away with a phone, at least the iPhone on my part, when I first started the tour, I started using my iPhone to record the behind the scenes.
Right.
That's kind of the only thing you could kind of sneak by, because there's been actual feature films shot on iPhone. So, but when it comes to a picture, there's just something about the resolution, it does not hold up.
And I think it's the perk of that, just the quality of having a professional photographer. When they send you the pictures, you don't have to do anything. You could just post. You could just put it on your blog. However you get it out to people, it's already ready. You don't have to worry about nothing. Don't put no filter on it. Don't touch it. It's ready. Like, it's done for you, and it looks good.
Right.
Don't Facetune it.
Right.
Oh, honey, Facetune I didn't know that it did all of these things. I had no idea. I met a model worked with her as with a one-on-one, and like the images that she felt she needed to send me. I don't need you to send me photos for you to walk. I just need to see your shoes and make sure they're not copy colorless. Otherwise than that, I don't need to see your images. However, she sent me these photos and I was like, oh wow, she's so beautiful. But then when I seen her in person, I was like, this is not the same person. I know this is not the same person. I was like, you the one that sent me the images, right? She was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, what did you edit your pictures with? Because your teeth and Facetune was super bright. So what did you edit? Did you edit your photos? She was like, yeah, that's how I learned about the whole Facetune. She said, yeah, I use Facetune. Oh, if they had Facetune in real life, darling, you might want to use that for your teeth for real.
You know what?
That was crazy. Perfect set of teeth, and they was just like this perfect shade of golden yellow. Because she smoked. I didn't know that either. Like that Facetune is something, honey. It is something.
Well, that's why a lot of agencies like you can't skirt around. They when they want those digitals, those Polaroids, they want the real thing. They don't want no Facetune. They want, and a lot of times they prefer it professionally shot with nice even lighting, so they can see you without makeup and all that stuff.
I don't even know what Facetune is. I ain't never even heard of it.
You know what? My girlfriend has a big brand. And Facetune, that's when I found out about Facetune. She'll be at home editing on her camera phone. She'll get the pictures professionally shot, but because she owns a big brand, and it's based off of swimsuits, she enlarged the breast. She does all this extra stuff. I mean, but it's not too noticeable, but it works for her. Like it works for her brand because they look for this skinny petite woman, you know, when they're looking at this image. So she has like the breast a certain way because I guess the girl in real life, her breasts are kind of little, you know, one is higher than the other due to surgery. So she, you know, she makes them the same size and she does all this. And that's when I learned about Facetune. I'm like, you actually have the time to sit there and do all of this stuff, you know, but she's $1 million company too, you know, so if it works for her, it works for her, you know, but I'm not that iPhone tech savvy. I think that's why I don't use the iPhone like that. Like my pictures when I post, they are so horrible because I'm standing in front of a mirror. I'm like my hand is jacked up. I don't know how to get my phone out of the camera. And then I don't know how to pose. So I'm just like this. And I'm like, holy crap. You know, like that's why I don't use the iPhone all the time because the iPhone, I took a class when I was in Apple, my phone broke. It is a lot of, if you actually know how to work the iPhone, it's amazing to take pictures. Don't get me wrong. It is like the quality, how you can shade, but you have to do so much on that one small device versus if you get a photographer, they can upload it to the computer and they can do it in 5 seconds where it might take you 10 minutes per photo that you're shooting on. So I'm so against the phone thing. Unless it's something quick, because once I sell out of it, I take it down. You'll never see it again. So it's like I sell out within an hour, it's gone. Nobody can see it again. But I'm so opposed to it. I'm so opposed to the whole editing thing too. I look for photographers that don't heavy edit as well. I hate editing.
So Jose, she did not mean that 5 second thing.
Well, most of them, I use an actual editing service that I work with. I work with them closely, and I don't like the heavy editing like she just mentioned.
Neither do I.
I'm not a big fan, even though I get some models that tell me no, they want the glam. When they want the glam, that's when they want the shebang, the whole glossy but I don't like it. That's just not me. If my world was perfect, I would shoot, and whatever I shoot, that would be it. You know, because I try to light it the right way and everything, so it comes out nice.
Hello, hi. I gotta ask a question. What do you mean the glam, the high glam? I need to know what's the heavy editing. I need to know.
No, the glam is when the skin is super airbrushed, everything, every kind of imperfection is erased. You know,
just look at Rah and Alexis photo when they did Kevin Kline. That's a high glam. Rah, I've been following you for a little bit, okay? And I'm probably gonna get you on set really soon for one of my collabs. But they did a shoot and it was amazing, by the way. Oh my God, it was the bomb. But Rah and Alexis did a shoot with Kevin Kline. They did like a whole, embrace your curves thing. And for me, it was an edited shot. You know, it was versus I guess with Jose, I've seen some of his work too, especially when he did The Girls by the Beach. It also goes off the camera as well, because I know I've shot with some photographers who, like Jose said, their lighting is off because they're still trying to learn the different lighting and settings. Then I've worked with some top dogs that once they shoot, you don't need no editing for nothing, and you'll be like, wait, what kind of camera are you working on? That they don't need anything because it's the lighting, it's the they just know how to shoot. They just know how to shoot where they don't need to do all the extra stuff. And those are the photographers I go with. I rather pay someone extra to get that type of look than to go back and they have to keep editing and send me the picture and make sure I like it. No, I kind of want to get this one and done, because half the time they're sending it to me late at night. I have to go through all these pictures. It's just a lot of work.
I mean, as a business, that's one thing you run away from, is for a photographer that says, we'll fix it in post. You'd be like, oh, what, something's wrong here. Why did the last picture look? We'll fix it later.
Mm-hmm. Me and her actually had issues because she didn't. Her time schedule wasn't what we agreed upon, and for me to pay you for a shoot, and then when you finally sent me my pictures, it was over edited. I didn't even look like myself. My skin was so smooth, my eyes were so glossy, it was like a painting. And I'm like, that don't even look like me. Like, I can't, like, and you could tell, I felt like she did a rush job, because she was like, he keep hitting me up and I'm weeks late on sending the pictures, so I'm gonna just hurry up and send him something. And I was like, no, you don't do nobody like that. It was like overdone. I didn't even post the picture. Like, I just didn't feel comfortable posting.
See, I don't know. The last photo shoot that I did was that boudoir shoot, and she sent me the raw images, and then it was some of them where I was just like, oh no, I want smoother legs. She was like, but if you look at it, you can still tell that you have, these are your real legs. And I'm like, okay. So I'm comparing the actual raw images to what she edited, and I was like, okay, so I still look like me. I don't want a new face. I don't want a new face yet. Not until I'm 60. I don't want a new face. So I didn't, I was okay with that. I shot with Taquan just recently, and again, he was like, Jeannie, I'm not airbrushing much of anything because you don't need it. I don't want you to, you tell me if you want me. It was like darker. We shot outside and it was late or whatever, my sister and I. But he was like, I can lighten the background, but I don't want to do anything to you and your sister. You'll see what I mean. And when he sent the photo, when I posted, I was like, oh, okay, so we look like us. I don't want a new face. So okay. So now
as a male model, you definitely don't want to look like you got a lot of makeup on. I don't have bad skin, but at the same time, I don't want to look like I've been sitting in the makeup chair for an hour. It was like, then that's how the picture looked. Like, it was like, wait, this is too much. It was too much.
But those models, those don't go there. Those models, they want that look, right? And what I've learned in the plus industry, and I try to be sensitive, because plus is still like a sensitive thing. They like to over edit it because I guess it makes them feel confident, right? Social media has this whole thing where it's like you have to look a certain way, you have to be a certain way. And I think that's why my brand took off as fast as it did, because I will post a raw photo in a minute. And Simone will be like, Yashica, I'm like, leave me alone, Simone. Because on average, when you think about it, the person that's buying is not overly glam like that. They don't look like that. They have dents. They have a gut. They have, they have the arm flaps like that. And I always show it on my live. They have this stuff, so why not embrace it? And I try to get my models to understand that, like, listen, this is not your brand. Like, if you don't want to post it, that's fine. But I'm letting you know I'm going to post it my way, because I don't like over-edited pictures. My brand is not commercial. My brand is real live models, real live people, and I want them to see what it looks like. I don't want them to buy the outfit and they're like, oh, I didn't know it didn't show. It showed, it's see-through. No, I need you to stand in front of that camera, and I don't need nothing to be airbrushed or anything, because I need them to see. You might have, it might be see-through in the back. It might, I need them to see those real life images. But I think a lot of times these models, even though they portray the confidence online, they don't have that confidence. So they want everything to be perfect. And it's like, we don't live in that world.
But it's funny. Just to jump on that, what you said, because a lot of times, I'll be online and I'll be on the boutiques and I'll be looking for stuff for my wife. I'll be like, well, maybe I want her to wear something sexy, and I'll see that model that resembles her body wise. And as a man, I like it when it's more realistic to what my wife looks like. So I try to look pieces, and a lot of times it's not the model that's booked some, that's all perfect and airbrush. It'd be the girl that's just regular, schmegular, but looks good. And the dress looks sexy on her body type. And that's what I'll be like, and I'll show my wife, hey, you like this? Yeah, I like it. Cool. All right, let's buy it. And that's how it's done.
Well, let me ask this question. Mm-hmm. How many of you are okay with seeing the extra dents, the lumps and the bumps? How many of you are okay with seeing it? Now, I understand that you don't want the over-edited photos. I get it. But I'm going to tell you this. I feel like for being a model and as a designer or whatever you want to call me, I want to see some sort. You don't have to get rid of all of them, but you got to get rid of some of them, because then it turns into people who are viewing this. And I'm telling you, as a person, people who are viewing this, what the hell is this? Why did they think this was okay? Totally took away from your outfit. You understand? Totally took away from that look.
I agree with you.
Away from that beauty. I'm not saying to over edit it now. And again, I'm not saying take away from her realness and her being this girl. I don't never airbrush my arms and my legs. Thank God they kind of sort of smooth. Do they have some dents and somewhere? Absolutely. We all have that little bit of cellulite. But for the most part, I'm good. You don't have to edit it too much. What about that young lady the cellulite is out of this world? And again,
you edit that.
Oh, okay. Because
no,
when you say order that, I don't want you to get rid of it, but I do want you to clean it up some way, somehow.
No, you definitely do that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You
do. Yeah, no, you do that.
But I did a shoot once before, and I had my shirt off, and the photographer edited it. And he edited a 6-pack abs onto my stomach, and I'm like, wait a minute. I said, wow, that looks good. I know that's not me. So whoever stomach that is, give it back to them, because when people see me in person, they're gonna be like, what happened to that 6-pack that you had?
Oh, lift up your shirt.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute. Like, he did a good job. It looked great, but it wasn't my body. Like, that's overdoing it. Like, there's certain things like I say.
There's some models that don't care. They have no shame in faking it and looking all crazy. Right. And that's on them. Do you? I don't feel comfortable with it.
With someone who have a boutique, or Jose, you're shooting, and they like, no, don't edit any of the photos. Now, you're not going to do over editing, because when I shot with you, I still look like me. Absolutely beautiful. I still look like me. I look like I was out, I had on makeup, and me and Michelle have fun. That shoot that we had done together with the magazine, it was perfect. But if I am online and I am scrolling and I am looking for dresses, or I'm looking for an outfit or something like that, and honestly, I can wear 12 to a 14, maybe more so to 14 after the quarantine, 15, but I can wear 12 to a 14. I love to see a young lady who's a size 18, 20 put on clothing, because they just wear it way better. So when I see her and she may have on something sheer, or she may have on something very short, I want to see a nice leg. I don't need to see completely smooth, like she's just so tight and she never ever, had a dent. But I want to see something that's clean, because again, when I sit with my friends who are not models, who just say, help me find this outfit, and they go past this young lady, like you said, Jose, who just don't care, who said, I'm just gonna rock out with my cock out, this is what it is. The first thing they say is, what the hell is this? And why does she think that this was okay?
So I didn't want to confuse you because, okay, for one, my brand is, and I'm one of the Tawana knows. Huh?
I know your brand. I follow.
Oh, thank you, Pooh. I'll follow you back if I don't. But I bring in, like, right now I'm sitting at 250,000 for the year right now, or the quarter, right? So my brand is clean. Don't get me wrong. When I mean editing, I mean there's some models that are really a 4X.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And they portray to be a 3X, right? So the editing wise, they have smoothed this stuff out where the pictures look a certain type of way, but when you see them in person, they're completely different. You know what I'm saying? That they're way bigger than what it has been appeared online. I don't want my brand like that because it reflects on me, where someone that really is that girl's size really needs to see what that outfit looks like without it being, you are so smooth. That's what I mean by that. Like, none of my pictures, I don't like acne for one on the face. Your face does need to be smoothed out with that. Your legs and stuff, it needs to be smooth. Your arms everything needs to be smooth, but it goes back to the photographer and knowing the photographer. The people that I work with, and I like underdogs. Don't get me wrong, Jose, shout out to you. When I get real rich and famous, I'm gonna book with you, honey. But I like working with underdogs because they take their craft a little bit more. It's like they're like, whatever you need, what you need done, like I got you. And I work with them. I work with Howard Design. Howard Design doesn't do a lot of editing. You get what I'm saying? Like, unless you want them to, they will take a photo. They have a young girl right now that's interning with them that is amazing. She can shoot and just do a touch up and that's it. That's what I look for. I don't like over the top editing. I just can't do it for my brand because my target audience, they're not over the top glam. Like, now, if I had a brand that was glamorized, then all day I would have to do over the top editing because my brand is a glamorized plus size brand. But that's not my brand. My brand is typical girls that work 9 to 5 or might be business owners, but they work 9 to 5 jobs. They like to, dress casual during the day, and then they like to do a little turn up at night and be sexy, but they're still not over the top. Like, that's not my brand. But I didn't mean it in a way like, oh, I needed it absolute raw.
I was like, whoa, no. That's like, no, please don't.
So for me, it's I like natural, right? But at the same time, we also have to remember that we are in a fashion industry, so you have to be able to sell these clothing, right? And so if I see somebody with a dress on, and I can see all their rolls, and not necessarily, I don't want to see them smooth out, but I want to see what that dress is going to look like on me, right? How it could possibly look on me, right? So I don't think that if your rolls are showing, you probably have on the wrong size. That's the first thing. So change the size.
Wrong foundation, yeah.
Right. But for somebody, like for me, I'm very natural, right? I don't like to be sucked in with body foundation and stuff like that. And I'll wear it if the outfit calls for it. But I don't like it. Not on other people, but for me. So I tend to buy clothes that are not tight fitting. I like A-line stuff. I like stuff that's, very forgiving for me. But for us, when we shoot for the magazine, it's like, I prefer to see what people are wearing beforehand, right? Because if you're one of those people who will come in, first of all, I hate bodycons. I hate them. Some of y'all can rock them. Jeanne, you can rock them. But for me, I don't like bodycons, okay? Because everybody thinks that they can wear a bodycon, right? And you can, but not in a magazine, right? So you can wear what you want to wear. But so for us, it's like, I'm very particular when I tell Phil what it is that I'm looking for. We dress the body. So you have to wear stuff that, if you have imperfections in your arm, like severely, we're not putting you in stuff that's going to show off your arm, right? So for us, a little bit different. But when I am purchasing clothing and I'm looking at models on how they dress, I like to see some sort of natural. I hate models that look like mannequins. Everybody, we all have pores. So when I look at your picture and you don't have any pores, like I'm skipping past your picture. I don't even want to know what you wear. But I look for more natural people. And that's just me. So now I'm gonna go and because there's a couple of questions in the chat room that I want to read. And this one is probably more for you, Yashica, but I guess anybody can answer it. Is researching a model's demographic a necessity when selecting who you will work with?
Most definitely. For me, I'm so big on loyalty, and I'm getting out of that because my mentor is like, "Hey, loyalty is not going to get you paid." I've worked with some of the same people because they've just been they've been through the trenches with me before I even took off of my brand this year, right? So I tend to typically try to use them, but the demographics is very important. What I look for now, even in this brand ambassador program, I want to see how you can style something up and down. You know, because everybody wants to work with the brand. Everybody wants free clothes, right? But do you know how to actually dress? It's very important that you know how to style. And it's not even necessarily saying you have to style with, you know, Gucci loafers or Louis Vuitton bag. No, I need to see how you can style something, how creative you are, because to be honest with you, that's my weakness as a brand. That's why I hire people to do the things that they do. And I have to, going back to a photographer, you have to have the right photographer that has a creative eye, because I don't have that creative side. I know how to shop for clothing and what look good on body types, but I don't have the creative side where I can go in and say, okay, boom, there you go. So I look for people now that has that creativity, that because we're still dealing with the pandemic, what can you do in your house? I've, like Janine said earlier, I've seen some models right now that go and turn their whole house. They have a whole flower wall and all kind of stuff back there. And I'm like, yes. Wait, where you at? I'm like, where you at? You know, it amazed me. Or they change, for some reason, they know how to change the screen on their little camera, so it like have a safari background, and you know, and they're like, oh, I just took that from home. I'm like, wait a second, what? So I look for the creativity of people now, and I also look at more so, I look at height. I look at height is a big thing because I like short girl. That's me personally because I'm short, right? Oh, so it's not a lot of short. It's not a lot of short plus in the industry, right? I like to break rules. I don't like to be the person that goes by the book. And I think that's what makes me stand out from other people, because I don't care about what somebody, you know, what they say that what a plus size should be like. I'm looking at the eye of myself and what I see a plus size ideal woman to be. So I go off of, you know, height. I don't want a super tall girl. Why? Because I'm not tall girl friendly. I have some things that's tall girl friendly, but not everything on my site is tall girl friendly. So I don't give that illusion. I look at, of course, I look at engagement. I look at what area you in. That plays a big factor as well, because if you're in the middle of the country, baby, you can't sell nothing for me. You know, like who do you know? What's going on? Like if you're in the middle versus if you're a city girl, you have, I might can work with you a little bit more. So I definitely agree. I definitely think that different demographics definitely takes a factor of who I decide to work with. And I have to build a relationship. So for me, I don't care if you're real pretty. Can I get along with you? Can you deal with me if I tell you to take that picture over because I don't like it and not take offense to it? Can you work with me when I tell you, hey, that's not a good look. Let me send you another outfit. I'm sorry. Can you not take offense to how I actually operate? So it's important that anybody that I decide to work with, we have a good relationship and they have a good spirit. Like I'm so for genuine spirit that's why I don't get caught up in a lot of this plus size coke stuff, because I like to be in my own lane, do my own thing, and this whatever works for me works for me. So yeah, demographics takes a huge part of who I decide to work with, because it's my brand, it's my money at the end of the day.
Anybody else want to tackle that?
No, I just like the fact that she likes short people.
So
Girl, I'm 4'11".
Oh.
So apparently, people in the chat room love the fact that you like short girls too. So, Crystal says, yes, Yashica, give us shorties a chance. State Diamond Cosmetics says to tell you, Yashica, that we are here. Jeannie and I know that they don't love us petite plus. That is not true. I love y'all too.
Yeah, you one of the few. I mean, the industry has changed over the years. Maybe recently, in the last maybe 5 years, I want to say, it was a struggle for me. I thank God, knock on wood, that I've been successful at this for the past 15 years, but it's been a struggle. It's been really hard because height has played a factor.
Jeannie, DM me. DM me tonight.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do, and tell your folks that's on the live to DM me as well, because we're gonna be rolling out this program. But that's why I work with Simone. Simone is short, right? So when she was in the plus industry heavy trying to get on, the only person that gave her a chance was Mallory, right? For her events. That was the only person that gave her a chance. And it was because they said, girl, you're beautiful, you have the look, but you're short. And I was like, you know what? I got something for this. I'm going to target a different audience, because everybody is so hyped on the tall girls and the tall, slim, curvy girls. I'm going to get the ones that are very voluptuous, the real size voluptuous tall girls. And then I'm going to get the short women who are plus as well. Like, we still have to shop for ourselves as well, and not just, I think when people think of plus, they think of small waist, big hips.
Yeah.
Big booty and big breasts. Nah, we about to change that up, and I'm not gonna stop until God opens that door for me to walk through. And that's just the purpose of my brand.
So let me read some more of these comments in the chat room before they think that we are ignoring them. And then I have another question. And then I have a final question from everybody else, unless somebody else comes up with another question. So someone else said you can have a natural look and not be over glammed and not see your pores. And what do you mean not see your pores? I want to see pores. Everybody has pores.
Well, listen, if you use the pore thingy, the elf pore, honey, I'm smoothed out. I don't even need no.
You're right. You got a point. You got a point with the makeup. Let's see. It depends on the mission of your brand. Is the company selling clothes or hope? That's funny. Is the company selling clothing or hope? That's funny.
They sell both.
I think models and companies cater their images to whatever is trending at the moment. At one point, slim waist and big butt was popping, but now rolls and cellulite is big online. I like the clean edits. Interesting. Yeah, teachers on, right? All right, here's another question from the chat room. Question for Jose. Do you have, interesting. Okay. Do you have clauses in your contract to prevent others from editing your images and for businesses to use them for a certain time of their campaign? So hold on. You can answer this question very general, okay? Because next week, we're actually talking about this very topic, and Jose will be back on for that one. So without giving up too much.
Say the question again. I know she's something about clauses.
Do you have a clause in your contract to prevent others from editing your images and for businesses to use them?
I mean, I don't have a problem with other people editing my work, and most of the models will tell me, hey, can I send this out to somebody I know that's going to edit them? And I'll check out their work first, and then I'll give my thumbs up or down, depending on if they're good enough. But I really don't need a clause for that because, I own the images once they come out the camera. So if somebody needs something edited, I deal directly with the editor. So they might say, okay, yeah, I want this person edited. I don't give it to the model. I give it to the editor. They do what they need to do with it. Because most models, what they're going to do with a raw file, I mean, it's really unnecessary unless they, I'm giving them rights that they pay for the Rahs, and that's different.
Okay, here is another question. Let me just give y'all a heads up because it is raining outside, and so if my internet flick is off, I'll come back. Okay. Question for Mr. Mosely and Miss Ferguson. So formal. When working with companies and boutiques, what do you look for in them, and what stipulations do you have to protect yourself in your contract?
Why you want to go?
Yeah, well, what do I look for? I look for, with me now, I've been having problems with brands because they say I'm not big and tall. I'm just tall, and I'm a regular size model. They say that, because I've lost weight, that you're not big and tall. So I look for brands that actually have extended length sizes, like, because I am a taller man, so I need longer lengths in the shirts or the jeans and stuff. I definitely look at that. As far as the clauses, I just try and make, like I say, talking about money, sometimes even for me, it can be kind of a situation. But if we're shooting and you want me here at a certain time, and I get there at that time, and we don't start shooting until 2 hours later, you still have to pay me extra because
that's right.
we didn't start on time. Like, and it's not my fault. I was there at the time that you needed me to be there. So it's things like that you need to have in your contract, because sometimes, and I don't think nobody, I can say nobody does it on purpose, but no one intends for things to run late, or maybe the person they were shooting before you, things happen. But at the same time, if that's the case, you need to have a window of time where you can say, well, I don't need you to be here that early because we might run over. But if I'm there and I'm sitting there just waiting, I could have been doing something else.
Yeah.
So I need to be paid for that time. So I think you need to have those type of clauses in your contracts too, just so everybody's on the same page as far as what the invoice amount is going to be at the end of the day.
I mean, unless I guess if it's a flat rate day, right, Jeannie? I mean, if it's
right.
a flat
If
rate
it's,
day,
I was gonna say, if if you're paying my day rate, then I'm there for whatever it is, and whether I end early because of you, because I'm there for 8 hours. If you're telling me I'm there for 6 to 8 hours, if you're telling me I need to be there at 8 a.m. and we are going to stop at 6, and you are giving me my day rate, that's fine. Anything over 6 p.m., I want to say 6:10, because I might have went to the bathroom, I might have eaten lunch, whatever it is. So anything past 6:15, you have to pay me. Like, you would definitely have to pay me. If you're not, you're not paying my day rate, and you're saying this is what your budget is, I look at what your budget is. I look at how many garments I'm going to shoot for the day, because I know as a fit model, I get paid by the hour. So I need to know how many garments I'm going to shoot that day. I need to know what my rate is going to be. I need you to understand that if you tell me to bring all of these things, I want to be able to use them because I'm traveling to you. Sometimes I put the amount of travel in my clause as well. Have I flown out to do certain things? That's a whole different contract that I do as far as my classes and one-on-one teaching, totally different. But yes, I sometimes ask you to pay for travel. If it's me going outside of New Jersey, if I'm going to Philly, you have to pay for my travel. If it's Jersey, I'm okay with that. I make sure you don't ask me to wear a wig, because that's not my look. I'm not going to, unless we really talk about it. You go, Jeannie, I'm looking for this high glam, look, and you need to look like whatever, and we're going to put a wig on you. I have to look good in it, but don't ask me to wear a wig. I do want images from it. I do ask for images, and the ones that have been retouched. If I don't like the image and it makes me look crazy and you're just posted it on the site, I don't want to repost it. So we're going to have to come to some sort of agreement, because again, it's for you, yes, but it's also for me. So we working hand in hand. So it got to go both ways.
Right. So, okay, somebody else got a question. They wait to the end of the show to ask questions, y'all.
That's good.
Jeannie, at what point in your career did you consider yourself successful? Was it a feeling? Was it a certain response, or was it certain responses from your supporters? And I guess, you know, let's make this the final question, because I think everybody can pretty much answer this question.
What made me successful is when I started getting paid for the jobs every time I was, you know, every time I submitted or every time I was asked to do something. That's what made me successful. And when I started to make more than $200 and I was making $500 to $1,500 per shoot or per, you know, fit or per show or what have you, that's what made me successful. And the fact that I kept going and I didn't just do runway, I didn't just do print, and I didn't just do fit. I did them all. And I continuously had done them all, and I still do them all. So that's what made me successful. I don't think I had become successful as a petite plus, but I can say successful now because if you mention petite plus, somebody gonna say Jeanne Ferguson. That's one. Two, if I had to go back, you know, 10 years or 15 years, petite plus never existed. So I created my own lane. When did I become successful? When I started doing commercials and I started doing television, and they didn't care anything about me being 5'3", being on BET for 8 years out of the 10 that they showed it, and one as a designer. That's what made me successful. So no, it wasn't a feeling dollar. Anybody can feel successful at absolutely anything. I feel like I'm successful every time I walk out the door in my heels and I'm strutting up and down the street, honey, because that's just what I do. So anybody can feel successful, or they can think because the people are following them and they say you are successful. You can't tell me anything about successful. My bank account did. That's what happened.
You better preach, girl.
Well, how do you follow that up?
Well, because you can say you concur, Rah, you know better. You can say absolutely.
But no,
I agree.
I guess for me is when I really felt successful is when people really started to take notice of what I was doing, and I started like I was stuck on wanting to be signed to an agency for a long time, and I realized that that's not even really what it's all about, because I've been booking things on my own without an agency.
Yeah.
And like getting the cover of Plus Model Mag, getting winning Emerging Male Model of the Year, that was really big for me and it meant a lot. And I was so nervous like accepting that award, because I was like, wow, this people really pay attention to what I'm doing. People really see this, and I have people who say, hey, you know, I've been watching you. I like what you're doing, and it makes you feel good. I've made pretty good money so far from modeling. I would like to do more. It's a lot more that I would like to do, but I'm not rushing anything. I want everything to come to me because I want to keep it. I want to always build these relationships with people that are consistent, that they want to keep using me. I don't want to be just, oh, he's it right now, we're going to use him. I know I want to be the person that you see in that campaign all the time. So I think I'm on my way to that, and I'm thankful for everybody who's supported me, you know, along the way, because it definitely means a lot, because this was something that I didn't really expect. I had kind of given up on it, to be honest, because it was like, oh, this ain't gonna happen for me. But when I kicked my blog off, I started getting offers and people wanting me to do things. So it was just like, okay, people really, I did feel a niche that wasn't being met within the male modeling industry, because usually the male models are a certain size, or the big and tall models are white guys. They don't really put the black guys in the big and tall.
Right. That is true.
No, that's true.
It's like now they're starting to use more, and it's opening up doors. I just got to get them to realize that tall guys need representation too.
Right.
Because, you know, yeah, NBA players dress well, but they're not technically the consumer that you're trying to sell the clothes to. You want to sell clothes to the everyday tall guy who couldn't necessarily buy the big labels, but want to shop at Target, want to shop at these other places. You need people in the ads that look like them, so they can see their self. Because most with guys, we'll kind of stick to the same thing over and over again, wearing the same thing over and over again. But if you see somebody in something that you didn't think they made in your size, you're more likely to go out and look for it and buy it. So, right. Yeah, but like I said, I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for you, Tawana, for the award, and that really was the highlight of my last year. Like, it ended my last year well, winning the award. So, I'm thankful.
Honey, if nobody told you I was sensitive,
And I told Miguel before the pandemic came through and stopped all of the working and everything. I was telling Miguel, I said, I'm coming for your crown. I'm winning male model of the year.
That's right. That's right. Talk that.
So yeah, but I'm thankful for that.
I think success to me, I get that question all the time. I don't know that. I think I'm sensitive to y'all, so I just, for me, I don't even like to get into this topic because I think that to go from where I came from, my backstory, and to put so much effort into a brand, I think what made me successful is when I let go of my past and I let go of my fears. And I say, you know what? God, you brought me this far. I had help before, I had a relationship, and God, you brought me out of it, and this is all I have. And I think that's what started the success journey. To me, it's not money, because financially, I thank God, even through COVID, I'm like, God, these folks is shopping. Like, they shopping more than they shopped before COVID. Like, Lord, you did COVID 2 years ago, Lord, like, but no, seriously, I think success to me is being able to be where I'm at now and have a position to hire others. I have a team of 10 people on my payroll. And to me, that does everything to me. That's excluding models, and I'm only at 27.5K. So people are like, oh my God, how are you doing this? And I'm like, honestly, I can't give no credit but God, because, I can't tell you I stayed up all night researching, because it's a lot. I can't tell you that, I've studied the craft beforehand. I was forced in the craft, like this was just something that it was like, okay, whatever you want to do, you do it. And I did it as a hobby. But then I was God forced me to make this my full-time job. And so now I think that success for me is knowing that I have people that depend on me, and that I actually can pay them, that they're taking care of their household, that they're looking at someone to say, oh, I followed your brand when you were just starting off, and now to see you now, it's crazy. And I'm still not mentally, I'm not where everyone sees me at, right? So I'm still stuck on, nah, I'm still a small business owner, and and they're like, girl, no, you're not. And I think it's because being a business owner, I have such big dreams, right? So if you ask me like physically what success means, okay, it means me driving a Maserati and having a big house and that. But mentally, success to me means me being able to be in a position, like everybody has this boss title. I don't like to be the boss because I work. Like, I package my orders, I get in, I clean, I do everything when it comes to my business. Like, I'm so hands-on as if I'm still the only person. So I just think success to me just means me able to show women that they can get out of whatever situation they can, and they can do whatever it is that they put their mind to. And they can be a boss, they can be a model, they can be a photographer, they can be a blogger. It's not too late, no matter what age you are. And I think, going back to Tawana, I just thank you, because you're kind of one of the first ones that was like, hey, when I first stepped on the scene, Tawana and Mallory, like one of the two people, but Tawana especially was just like, hey girl, hey, like,
that's
how you
my
doing?
thing. Hey girl, hey.
Can you send these pieces? And I was so eager that I was just like, no girl, I'm coming on a flight. Like, I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to New York. What you need, I'm gonna get it for your models. And I think from there, you've like helped me see that there's so much more for Plus. Like, Plus is needed. I don't care if it's 50 million boutiques out there that sells plus size clothing. Guess what? There's 50 more million that needs to be branded. It needs to be started. And I think that's why I did my classes, because it's like, it's really enough money for all of us, but it's also, to me, success, I'm going to be real. Not only is it putting putting my girls in positions to win and also be, you know, having them have paychecks and being on payroll and being a legit business, not a hobby. Because a lot of times all these social media businesses are just hobbies and not businesses. But it's also me when I send that package out to know that I'm putting a smile on someone's face when they put on an item and they get excited when they reshare when their package comes to their house. To me, that's success because it's like y'all really bought from me a girl that's ghetto bougie, you know, like personally, you know, and a girl that's still trying that hasn't figured it out, but you bought from me and you guys are this excited to get it and to know how many states. I mean, I just hit Ghana, you know, like that's big for me. So that's success for me. Success is not the money aspect. It's me knowing that my product is reaching so many women and they get excited to shop that they sell out my items as soon as I post them. That's success to me. To knowing that these people really support a brand and they could be going to the 100K following or going to the 50K following, but they're like, no, we're rocking with you because of who you are. That's just success to me. It's the people for me. It's not even me.
Well, to me, what's funny is to put in perspective, you know, I retired in 2015. I already had a career. I finished that 21 years in New York City. So when I started in 2015 and took my photography even more serious, I mean, I was making magic while I was still kind of working, you know, behind the scenes, days off and things like that, but into full time into 2015. And I felt it was success when, you know, people were talking about me in sectors of the non-plus size industry. When I keep hearing talk people in Atlanta, before I started traveling in Atlanta and knew about my name and things of that nature. And then having people write to me or text me and say, Jose, you gave me confidence. You know, like if I post a picture of art or something, you know, very inspiring, that's what I don't know, that really touched and resonated with me, knowing that I'm touching women and empowering them and making them feel like they could conquer the world, you know, because that's my mission, is to put positive vibes in the universe and on this planet. So to me, knowing that I could kick off this new career and be known, you know, have people like today, I just posted the Hampton, Virginia tour stop, and people inboxing me like, oh my God, is this true? Like, I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Like, okay, now we're talking. You know, that makes you feel good. It makes you feel like whole, you know, and wholesome. Like you're affecting people that they're dying to see you back on tour and really hitting the road and making magic. That's why I always say making magic, because I just like making people feel magical. So
Listen,
that to
those
me,
tours are
that's
so big. I don't think that you understand. Me coming in the industry, and plus, it was so hard to like. I'm an introvert, extrovert. Like a lot of people see me as extrovert, but I'm really an introvert person. And for me to hear your name, like I would have my models that wasn't even really in the modeling industry like that. Like, no, I got to book with Jose. I'm sorry, Yashica, I can't shoot with you this weekend. I'm like, so y'all really gonna leave? When I was in Charlotte, y'all really gonna leave Charlotte and go to Raleigh Durham this weekend? This weekend here? Yeah, because Jose got to shoot, so I got to go down there and get this shoot. So it's so dope to actually see you now and to see like your brand definitely speaks value. Your brand speaks
thank
a
you.
lot of value. Like, but it's even before, like I said, before I even got in real heavy, you got a book with Jose, like Jose. And I'm like, okay, who does Jose do? But now, you know, I know.
Yeah,
Like the girls go crazy over you.
Somebody, I'm not gonna say the name, but somebody inboxed me today and was like, oh, Jose is shooting it and so, and I'm saying to myself, why are you telling me? And I was like, oh, cool, all right.
They're trying to give you the wink, like cover.
Exactly.
You know what? And it's funny because I didn't even think about it that way. And I just confused. Like, what are you telling me for? Like, no Jose, but so for me, I think that When would I have? You would think that after 4 people spoke, I would have my answer ready, but I didn't. For me, I think the moment I became successful was probably when I released my first magazine 9 years ago, right? As shitty as that thing looked, and I look back at it now, that it was something that I set out to do. It was something I was unfamiliar with, and I did it, and that to me was successful. So every month after that, it's continued success. And there are some more endeavors that I have taken on, even with the fires. That was another level of success for me. So I think my brain is always going, and I'm always thinking of something else that needs to be done or I need to get into, and I find the time to do so. Like for some of you who have won awards, the fires is going to be doing interviews, catch up interviews, aka me, is going to be doing catch-up interviews. What are you up to now? Since we're not doing the fires this year, it's another business that I need to continue. You can't just sit on the table and come back to it next year when we're ready to plan for it. Right. But for me, I think every day, and not cliche-ish, every day I wake up is a success, but for me, every day, because I'm always working on something, every time I complete a task that I set out to do is another level of success for me. So I think that November 1st, whatever, I'm trying to count in my head. 2011 is when I became successful, because that's when I released my first magazine. And we just celebrated our 100th issue. And looking forward to next year, celebrating 10 years, So, every time I complete a task is successful for me. So, to answer your question. But I know we have went way over our time, right? So I thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for being a guest. I know I reached out to you guys. And sometimes, I put the word out and, if you want to join this topic, but sometimes, I envision certain people sitting on these Zooms with me, and I reach out to a person like Frankie. I reached out to Frankie. Unfortunately, she wasn't available. So that's not to say that one of y'all was the next best thing. No, I'm not saying that, but we'd have just had another square up there. So, I thank you all for being guests. Next week, make sure you guys come back. Next week, Thursday, 7:30, we are going to be talking about honey. Let me tell you, this is a hot topic that just never goes away. Okay? So next week, we are going to be talking about photos, ownership rights, usage rights. I mean, it's a lot, because there's a lot of things that people still don't know.
My stuff is in China right now. My stuff is in China. Like, I have so many pictures right now that's flowing in China, and oh my God, that's a whole topic. I've been trying to get them to take that stuff down right now, and it's impossible, because as soon as one takes it down, another China site puts it back up, and I'm like, what the heck?
And we see this, we see this a lot in the industry. So it's, the topic, that's just like ballpark. I'm just giving you the name of the topic, but there's going to be some topics that we're going to be talking about, which I think that will be helpful to, if not everybody, to a lot of people. So, it's something that we're going to be talking about next week, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your questions. I appreciate you guys. I will be sure to post in the description everybody's social media and websites if they have any. So please be sure to support these brands, support Queen Size Magazine. We'll also have a link to our brand in there as well. So again, I thank you. I appreciate you guys, and good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.